Elazar, how are you feeling?
Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem. Yeah, getting caught up a little bit here. Yeah. How are you?
Good, thank you.
It's good.
Kenny. Hello. Kenny, you must have had a wonderful day today.
Hey guys, I had an awful day today. It's true. Even though I don't own any Walmart or Target stock or much of it for people at all, but it just didn't result over.
Huh? What's over?
I am Bays. So V'boy Sema, the reason why they didn't do Mila during the 40 years in the desert, Mishum Deloy Noshev Luhu Ruach Tzfainis. During the 40 years, there was no northern wind. By having no northern wind, it was very hot, and it was too dangerous to do the Mila. The Tanya Koloisan Arboim Shon Shai Yisrael B'Midbar Lo Noshev Lam Ruach Tzfainis. The 40 years, because of Chata Egel, they didn't get the benefit of the northern wind. My timer, because they were rejected by Hashem because of Chata Egel. They had the clouds of glory that would lead them on their way, and if you had had that northern wind, it would have disrupted the clouds. Therefore, cloudy day or a day that has a southern wind, lo malinan bay. We don't do meal on that day. V'lo musochrinan bay. We don't do bloodletting on that kind of weather as well. However, but now everybody's got used to our weather, and then we're not makpid anymore regarding all of this. Hashem watches out for everybody. There wasn't a day where the northern wind blew at midnight. Now, what is that? The night of Pesach. What does that tell us about Mitzrayim? Matalmuda, Hakamashman de Esratz and Milsahi. That a special time is a halachic thing. Once there was an Esratzain, Bechatzois, this Esratzain is Nimshach even afterwards, at least for the 40 years. Somebody who's been circumcised, but he keeps on pulling down on the extra skin to make it look like he's uncircumcised. So he can still eat truma because he's had mila. However, midivrei gazra alav, but midrabanan they said he can't eat. Midei shenira ko orel, it's marisai, looks like he's an orel. So meisvei moshach tzorach sheimo. So it says a moshach has to have mila, so he's an orel. So the Gemara says midrabanan. Midraisai doesn't need it. It's only midrabanan. Utekarle, my karle, yada kasha. What's the kasha? Tzarich tani, because it says tzarich sheimo. So katoi basefer, he made a mistake because he looked at the sefer. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, lo yimol, a moshach should not. Midnei shesakana hilo, it's going to sakana. You've already taken off the skin, taking off more skin. It's going to be a sakana. Armulo. Ben Kuziba, there were people during the Bar Kochva's time, I guess they did a second Mila, and yet they had children. You could do Mila many times. To include that a Mashuk should also have Mila. Now, why do I need my vo'im? Maybe the himol yimol comes to tell me that if you left, you did a circumcision, there was some skin fragments left covering the glands. You have to remove those. How do you know mashuk? Toshma is b'tziyei far. The Rabbos is a mashuk. So, it seems like midaraisa you need to, not just midarabon. Who's sovereign midakonosiv like Talmudic kro deraisa he? Since they brought a pasuk They thought it's Doraisa, Velohi, Midrabanan. So why the pasuk? Cross Machtav Alma. They just brought a pasuk for the Chachamim to sort of lean on, but it's not a Doraisa. Meisvei. Tumtum, which is a person that has his genitalia covered by his skin. So you don't know what he is. He might be a male, might be a female. Ein oichel betruma. Because maybe he's a male and he's considered uncircumcised. Nashav avodah v'oichlin, but the wives and this avodim can eat.
How can he have a wife if we don't know if everything's covered up?
Very good. Very good. Hold on to that thought. Meaning, how could he give kiddush? Maybe he's a woman.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Okay, so hold on. So Mashuch.
It fits in with today's day and age, Kenny. You don't have to
Correct.
ask her.
Mashuch v'noiled kishumol, somebody who has drawn down his skin or he was born circumcised. Harei elu oichlin, they can eat truma. Androgynous is a hermaphrodite who has both male and female genitalia visible. That means they have a large clitoris, which looks like a penis, and a vagina. So they have female and male genitalia. Oichel betruma, because he's got male genitalia, and he's a kohen. And both males and females eat truma. However, in oichel bekochim, because only zecharim, only male kohanim can eat kochim, not female. They could be a female. Tumtum in oichel lo betruma v'lo bekochim. A tumtum doesn't eat not truma, not kochim. Because if he's a zachar, maybe he is an orel, and you can't mal him. And maybe he's a female, so he doesn't eat kochim. Ktani mia, so that's the barais. Moshuch, the noilet kishumol elu oichlin. Here it's a first of baraisa that says that a moshuch eats truma, not like what Rav Huna said that midivreim gozra love. Tiyufta Rav Huna, tiyufta, it's a kasha. Amar Mar, tumtum ein oichel betruma. A tumtum cannot eat truma. But noshav avodav oichlin. Now they ask Kenny's question, noshav l'tumtum and what do you mean? How can a tumtum have a wife? He lamed the Kaddish, he gave kiddushin to a woman, the Tanya tumtum shekidesh kiddushin, because there is a suffix that maybe he's a male. And therefore, misafik, we say the kiddushin is a kiddushin she needs a get. Not only that, niskadesh, if a man gave him kiddushin, so it's also kiddushin. But the Gemara says, "Eimedamar lechumra." Fine. In those cases, we're saying lechumra, there's kiddushin, you need a get. But lekula, to say that they should eat truma to their wives, why should miamrinan? Safek ishahu, vein isha miskadeshes isha. Because of the thought that she's a woman and the woman cannot be makadesh another woman, therefore, how could she eat truma? Amar Abaya, we're talking about a case kishabeitz of nikors mibachutz. This tumtum had testicles. You could see his testicles. So we knew he was a male. We just don't know exactly what his genitalia looks like. But because he had testicles, he's certainly a man, and it could be Makadosh and Isha.
Why do you call him a tumtum?
Because he has skin overlying where his penis is. So you got to tear him open with surgery to see whether there's a penis or something else. Because there are people that have testicles, but then they also have a vagina. Like an
then how come this thing of having beitzim is our raya that he's a zachar?
Because you can't have beitzim without being XY. I mean, I'm talking about medically.
So even if he doesn't have an aver.
So then they knew what he was.
No, he could still have female genitalia, and he would be at the din of an androgynous. Got to tear open the skin overlying it to know what the genitalia looks like.
But then for sure he's not a tumtum, so why they keep on calling? Okay, I understand.
A tumtum An androgynous is someone that you see very clearly, a penis and a vagina. That's an androgynous.
And I understand it's
A
not everything.
tumtum's got skin covering where his penis is. So we don't know what, does he have a penis? Does he have a vagina? Now,
That's the exact definition.
that's a tumtum. Correct. And there were tumtums that had beitzim. Then at least you knew that they were certainly they were part male, but they could also be part female. Which has dinim of it. Do they put on tefillin? And the dinim of an androgynous, which we'll learn. Because it's a suffix, you're a man, suffix, you're a woman. So you have to do both. You have to put on tefillin, and you have to do all the dinim as a male and a female. A tumtum is also suffix male, suffix female, just you don't know. By an androgynous, you know vadai that he's a male and a female. So he has to do both. Rav Amar Mai Nashav Imo. We're not talking about his wife. We're talking about, remember, as long as a mother has a child who's a kohen, she can eat truma. So the person that they're talking about in the keva that's eating truma is the mother. So there's no problem with kiddushin. So the Gemara says, Imo Pshita. I mean, this is a child. Why should there be any shaila? Oh, Ma'od say a moilid Michael. Shein moilid, eno Michael. A tumtum is not moilid. So maybe only a child who's moilid. A child that cannot be moilid, maybe it's not Michael, the mother, to eat truma. Kamash that they does. Toshma. Tumtum eno eichel lo betruma lo bekodshim. Tumtum cannot eat truma, cannot eat kodshim. Truma because there's a penis there, it's not circumcised. And maybe he's a male. Maybe he's a female that can't eat kodshim. Bishmal Abaya, that Abaya says, Kishabeitz of Nikorsim Vachutz, so Tona Resha Orel Vadai. The Resha is talking about a case in the beginning of the Baraisa Tumtum that we know for sure he's going to be an Orel. At a minimum, he's got a penis. Because if he has Beitzin, and therefore for sure he can't eat Truma. Because his penis is not circumcised if it's covered by the skin, it's going to have to require Mila. Tani Seifa Safik Orel. And the Seifa, the Tumtum, we don't know what it is. So it's only a Safik Orel. So the ratio and the Seifa, according to Abaya, makes sense. You need both cases. El Rava, who learned that it's talking about his wife, not his mother, or Kibetz of Shibachutz, Rava basically said Imoy, not Beitz of Bachutz. So why do you need both cases? El Rava Tumtum de Seifa Lamali. So the Gemara says, my Tumtum Orel. When the Brisa says a tumtum, it means no, an uncircumcised man. I understand, says the Gemara. Hash the suffix orel lo yochil. You've already told me that a suffix orel doesn't eat vaday orel ochil. Well, we know vaday orel certainly is not going to eat. So the Gemara says the Brisa was in the structure of matam komar, that it gave a reason. It means matam tumtum in ochil. What's the reason that a tumtum doesn't eat? And they should suffix orel hu. The orel ain't ochil lo betrum lo bekotshim. Now, lema ketanoi. Let's say that this issue is a machlokas tanoi. Moshach v'nolei keshumoel, somebody who drew his foreskin down or born circumcised, begershin is gayer keshumoel, a ger that got converted when he was already moel, the cotton shavers mano, a cotton beyond 8 days, ushar kol animulim. Now, what does that include? Somebody born with 2 foreskins that I've never seen. So, they get Mila only in the daytime. Can't do Mila at night. Rabbi Eliezer, Rabbi Shimon Omer, Bismanoi, if it's an 8-day Mila, Nimolim Abayon. But once it's Shalom Bismano, Nimolim Bayom of a Laila. You could do Mila even at night. My Lavak Kamifliki, the Mars of a Moshuch Doraisa. One holds Moshuch requires Mila Mina Raisa. And therefore he needs Mila only in the daytime. Even if it's after the 8th day. Umar Savar Moshuch Rabbanah. And therefore that's why he only does it at night. He can do it at night as well. Could that be the reasoning? The Tizbra cotton shavers mono. A cotton who has not had Mila yet, and it's day 9, day 10, day 11. Nobody holds that Mila is Drabonon, it's Doraisa. The requirement to do Mila for a Moshech is only rabbinic. Cotton Shavar's Mano is certainly Doraisa. So, and this is the Machloikes. Mar Savar Darshinan Uvayom, Umar Savar Lo Darshinan Uvayom. When it says Uvayom Hashmini Yemo Psor Laso, the Vav, the extra Vav, comes to say that somebody who wasn't gemalt on the 8th day still should have meal in the daytime. And the other doesn't darshan it. Kihad Yosef Rav Yochanan the Kadorish. Like Rav Yochanan darshan noiser, the meat of a korban left beyond its time, beyond 24 hours. Bizmano ein nisra fel b'yom. On the day after, when the day became noiser, you got to burn it in the daytime. Now it's beyond that time. Shalom bismanu nisraf ben biyom ben b'layla. Beisra Rabbi Lazar Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Lazar asked to find kasha. Ein liyala nimo l'shmini. I understand somebody who needs meal on the 8th day. Shein nimo l'bayom. That has to be done in the daytime. Minayin l'rabos l'sisha l'asor l'chados l'shneim. Asur minayin that even if you do meal on the 9th, the 10th, the 11th, or the 12th, that has to be in the daytime. Tamadamar uvayom. Vafilamandomar deloy dorish vav. Even without the vav. Vav v'hei darish. The darish in the vav uvayom hashmini. There's an extra vav and an extra hey. Everybody holds you darshan that. So ishte. Rabbi Yochanan was quiet. Basar did nafak after he left the yeshiva. Amalei Rabbi Yochanan Reish Lakish. Ra'isi leben pedash yoshev v'darish k'moshe mepiat gvura. Ben pedas is darshaning like Moshe Rabbeinu. Amalei Reish Lakish didehi. It's not his Torah. Must be say it's a baraisa.
Sorry, Ernie.
Yes.
Can I ask you a kasha? Has there ever been a case of Siamese twins, 2 boys? There could be two already. 2?
Yeah, if they're connected, you have 2 bodies. There are cases where they're connected by the head.
So maybe that was talking about that kind. That's why they had 2.
But those are 2 individual people.
So
2
one person with 2 already.
Somehow that there's 2 foreskins on one penis.
Oh, okay.
It must be a congenital anomaly. Just because I haven't seen it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. So masnisnin echatan the Torah's kohanim. It's in the Medrash Torah's kohanim. No, fuck, he went out. Tanya betlosa yoimi. He learned it over 30 days. V'savra betlosa yarchin. He studied it for 3 months to make sure he remembers it. Amar Lazar Orel shehiza. An oral that sprinkled paraduma is also kshera. It's fine. Mididavat yom. Right? Somebody who, let's say, was Tommy, went to the mikveh, he's got full yom. Those people can also do azah. Shavel b'shasa b'truma kosher b'para. It's full yom, can't eat truma until the night, until he has erev shemesh. But it's kosher b'para, same thing like an oral. Mal full yom shken mutter b'meiser, but we could say no. A full yom can eat meiser. An oral can't. We're not talking about eating, we're talking about touching. So umat fuyom sha'asur b'negiya de truma. A tfuyom cannot touch truma. Mutter b'para, oral shemutter b'negiya. There's no truma by an oral. He's allowed to touch truma. Eino din shemutter b'para. And that's the proof. Tani namahachi. Oral shehiza is also ksheva. An oral that does sprinkling of paraduma, it's kosher. And it happened that they were maksher. Tumtum shekidesh, tumtum that sprinkled paraduma, kidusho pasul. The neshu suffik orel. An orel then is pasul to do it. V'orel pasul kadesh. Van droigen is shekidesh kidusha kosher, says the Tanakhama. Rabbi Yehuda Amar, af van droigen is shekidesh kidusha psulim. Why? They should suffer.
What happened?
And he left.
I guess he had enough of us.
Send him a message. He probably didn't realize that he pushed the button.
That's strange. Maybe he didn't pay for his internet.
Okay. His power went off.
That's a problem.
No,
What does that have
it's
to do with the
probably-
phone?
His computer was not charged.
Which his internet must be out.
Yeah, something. Mario, how was the golf today? Stop the recording.
Oh, I finished 5 holes. That as much as I was able to do. It was okay.
A lot of people there.
Hmm?
A
Yeah.
lot of people.
Mhm.
Successful.
Well, almost 500,000.
They raised. That's fabulous.
Mhm. But this golf course is not as nice as the one last time where you were.
No, I liked it. Oh, the Rebbe's back.
Sorry, lost power. The Isha Psul Milakadesh, a woman cannot do Paraduma. Now, Tony Mia, whatever you want to say, we learned from this Baraisa, Orel, the Suffolk Orel, Pasul Milakadesh. How do you tell me an Orel is kosher from this Baraisa who says an Orel cannot do it? Rav Yosef, I Tana, is Tana Rabbi Kiva. The Marbele lo Orel ketome. He treats an Orel like a tome, like a full tome. The time Rabbi Kiva, Omer, Ish, L'Rabbi sa Orel, into Tuma. Omer Rabbi, have you seen the Kamed Rav Yosef? I was sitting for Rav Yosef Akashali. Lo Ishtami Tana v'lisni ha'arel v'atame. Let the Tana not to say that it's ha'arel v'atame. Lema Rabbi Kivahi. An uncircumcised male and someone who's tame is parted from showing up to Shalim to show yourself to the Beis Hamikdash. So you can't compare. Hasamishum de Mos. There it's considered disgusting to show up to the Beis Hamikdash that way. But in the other case, it's not Mos. Ozul Tamai V'Tanya Kol Shem L'Kadesh. The Bryce says everybody can do Paraduma. Chutz L'Cheresh Shoyt V'Kotten, except if you don't have Das. A deaf, mute, a Michigan, and a cotton. Rav Yudah Machshav a cotton who plays of androgynous. Rav Yudah says a cotton can do it, but not an Isha, not an androgynous. My time in Rabban, the Chsif Lachula Tamei, Me'afar Sreifasa Chatas, Hanich the Pasli Basifa, those that cannot gather, the Kiddush, cannot be Makadosh. Hanich the Kshem Basifa, Kshem be Kiddush. Since Chutz Cheresh Shoyt V'Kotten cannot gather, because it says Asaf Ish v'lo Kotten, Tahor Lachsher Isha, V'lek L'Midrash Ipcha Ish v'lo Isha. So it's a drasha that the Rabbanan are learning. The Rav Yudah Imkei Nema Krav V'lokach, my V'lokchu, what's plural? Da'afilu Hanach the Psulim Osum Ksherim Hacha. That even the ones that are possible there are kosher here. So then Yachi Isha Nami, what about an Isha? Says the Nosan, which is male below Nosna. The Rabbana Iksi Velokach B'Nosan Avimir Shakal Chad V'Yadcha. If it would have written Velokach B'Nosan, so you switch, you put one in and take one away. That main person, the same person. So because of Rachmana Velokchu. Because of Rachmana Velokchu V'Nasnu Avimina Deshakli Trei V'Yavi Trei. There are two different people who are allowed to do it. So that means even if two people gathered the paraduma ashes, only one person gave, it still is good. That's why you need those psukim. Something that doesn't have to be, if two gathered, two have to sprinkle. No. If two gathered, one sprinkling is enough. Okay. So tomorrow we'll learn at 6:30.
6:30.
I'm sorry. Tomorrow we'll learn at 7:30. Normal time.
So, yeah.
Okay.